Hey guys, welcome back to Heart Breathings. It is time for the July monthly notebook challenge, and I'm excited to show you the notebooks that I'm using, kind of talk about how I'm using them and moving forward. So I am also adding a new component to this. In addition to the giveaway, which will be this super cute Bando notebook, we are also going to be talking about some new books that I'm reading and adding a kind of a new element to the notebook challenge. So I hope you'll stick around. It did make, because of this and the Erin Condren stuff and some of my thoughts on that, made for a longer HB notebook challenge video than normal. So I hope that you'll stick around and enjoy this video, and make sure that you like the video and comment down below. Please subscribe if you're new here, and let's get started. Okay, so I have all of my notebooks here. There's just so many stacks you can't even see. It's crazy, but I'm excited to show you the notebooks that I'm using and what we're going to be doing as we move into the second half of the year, which is so crazy, which is the month of July. Also, if you didn't get a chance to watch my video on how we can support Black authors, I would love for you to go and watch that video now if you would like to know why I think it's important and some easy ways that you can get started now. But in addition to talking about my notebooks as well as the pens that I'm using, which we got to talk about these Sharpie S-Gel pens. I have many thoughts. I am also going to be adding a reading challenge to our HB Notebook Challenge for those of you that are interested in adding this for yourself. And what I'm going to be challenging myself as well as you to do is to pick up a book by a Black author, an author of color, a LGBTQ author, someone that you would like to support, and feature them on your Instagram, or just read and review the book on Goodreads, whatever you would like to do. But just even picking it up and reading the book is a huge step forward. So I've actually got two that I'm going to read this month, and both of these authors are from our Heart Breathings community. So I would love to lift them up, and we'll talk about that toward the end of the video. But each month I will have links to the books that I'm reading down below, so you can check those out. If you guys enjoy having a reading challenge component to the HB Notebook Challenge, then I hope that next year we can continue on with it and continue to support all of our authors in our community. So let's keep it going. Let's keep reading each other's books and supporting each other however we can. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to start by talking about one of the notebooks that I'm using this month. So one of the main things that I've been using over the past week is this Plan a Happy Life Happy Planner notebook. So it's basically the only notebook components of it are the Happy Planner hardcover and the discs. And then I have printed my HB90 Method 2020 Goals Planner in here. So it's really a goal setting notebook, and it's all printed pages. It's not really like journaling or anything like that. But I have been working on my Q3 plan. So I have my goals all set. I just have some of my income goals covered up there. I have my quarterly review was done. I don't have my vision board in here, but I'll show you where it is in just a minute. But basically, I finished my quarterly review, which took a little bit of time, but was so important to finish, to really look at what all I accomplished in the last quarter. And I'll be going over some of this in a video coming up about how I'm resetting my Kanban board and planning for Q3. So what I'm still going to be doing in this notebook over the course of July is basically just going ahead and writing out all my tasks, and I will be doing my checklists of each week, what tasks I'm going to be doing. So basically there's still a little bit of work to be done in this. I've got my projects done, but I haven't completely scheduled them out. So that's something I'm going to be working on over this next coming week as I reset my Kanban board. But one of the things I love to do is to create notebooks out of, all you really need is a cover and some discs, and then you can, as long as you have the hole punch, you can really put anything you want into a notebook for yourself. So I use this a lot. So even though I'm using my own insides instead of an actual Happy Planner, you can really just print out, and I'll show you two other examples of this that I might have shown before. And you can get the hard covers, which sometimes you can find these at Michael's or online at Amazon, but you can also laminate your own covers, which I'll show you in a little bit. You just need a hole punch that's strong enough to punch through laminated stuff, which I found that the Happy Planner hole punch is not strong enough, and it keeps getting messed up. Some people I know have done laminated sheets with the Happy Planner punch, but for me, mine just keeps getting messed up. So I was afraid I was going to break it. So I ended up buying the Staples Arc punch, and it was pricey. It was like $40, but it was worth it because now I can create my own covers instead of having to buy Happy Planner covers. And so as long as you have the discs, and they can be Happy Planner, Arc, Levenger, any kind of discs, you can create your own notebook. So you can constantly be taking the pages out or putting them back in. And I just think that's a really flexible way to create your notebook. So this is my Q3, or really my entire year's goal planner, and I continue to work in that throughout the months. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about my sort of planner notebook hybrid Erin Condren monthly planners, because this is what I use for my editorial calendars. Now, we have to address the elephant in the room, because many of you know, and probably some of you don't know, but there has been quite a bit of controversy surrounding Erin Condren, the person, and her actions, as well as the actions of her daughter. If you want to read more about this, you can Google it if you're not aware of what happened. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Do your own research, make up your own mind. But I will address this a little bit more in terms of how I feel about Erin Condren, the company, in my mid-year planner lineup, which is coming up soon. And I'm going to be talking about this because I am using and do continue to use the Erin Condren planners that I already have. And I just don't want the HB Notebook Challenge video to be all about that. But I do know that a lot of you would like to know my thoughts on the controversy and whether or not we should continue to use Erin Condren products and that sort of thing. And all I can say at this point, without trying to go into it too much, is I think that we are in an enormous time of change and transformation. And it's going to really be up to each one of us individually to decide where your boundaries are in terms of holding an entire company and their employees accountable for the actions of one person. And I'm just not sure how I feel. And I think that this is something I don't want to rush into. I am not someone who enjoys conflict or thrives on it. I like to stay away from it. I like to always just uplift people and make them feel better and encourage. And that's just who I am. So when it comes down to decisions like this, and especially when it feels like other people are telling me you have to abandon Erin Condren or you're a bad person, it gets very, very tense for me. And so it has been a really rough couple of weeks, because as you guys know, I am an affiliate for Erin Condren, the company. But just know for now, these are the planners that I already owned, and I intend to use them and love them. These are great tools for me. I love the products. I don't love what Erin Condren, the person, did. It is definitely not something that I support and get behind. But I do love the products, and I already own a lot of the products, and I will continue to use them, because to throw them away is just wasteful. And I already have systems created inside these products, and I intend to use them. Now, what my future affiliation and promotion and buying of the products will be, I haven't fully decided yet. I have been in a few town halls and other meetings with the CEO, and I feel like she is really trying, and I feel like she's really listening. And like I said, I'll talk about this more in the future. I don't want the focus of my videos to become something controversial or something that upsets people. I just want this to be an encouraging and loving space, and it causes me a great deal of stress to even think about the fact that I have to talk about the actions of someone. But this is the world we live in, and we're all going to be challenged right now as we change. And all I can say is that I hope that really good and lasting change is coming for us. And there are going to be some bumps in the road as we navigate those changes. But my greatest request to you is to be kind to everyone around you, because we're going to have to make our own personal decisions about this sort of thing. But I just feel like it needs to be addressed, because I do promote her company quite a bit. So I've already talked about this more than I wanted to, so I'm going to move on. But just know that these are planners that I had already purchased or that were given to me by the company, and I'm just going to continue to use them. So this is the monthly planner. This was last year's monthly planner, and they used to call it the Deluxe Monthly. It's basically a notebook. So that's why I include it here in the notebook challenge, because it's the only real planner components are that it has monthly tabs with a monthly overview, and then everything else is notebook pages. And I used this pretty much religiously. I have two of them. This larger size, 8.5 by 11 size, is for my Heart Breathings editorial calendar. So all my YouTube videos, all my planner work, my blog posts, my newsletter stuff, all goes into here and gets planned in here. Also in the back, in these notes pages in the back, you can see like here that I outlined my entire Publish and Thrive course and all the videos that go along with that. I outlined my planners, like so much into this, and I used up almost every single page, and I really, really loved using this planner. I didn't use all the stickers in the back, so I probably will still continue to repurpose those, but I did use the heck out of this planner. And this was July to June 2019-2020. So this one is going to be retired. I know a lot of you wonder what I do with my stuff afterward, and I really just put it on a bookshelf for several years until I at some point decide that I don't want it anymore and I can let go of it. So this will just go on a bookshelf. And so what I have here is the same thing, except I have a smaller one. This is the classic size for my Sarra Cannon career, and I have the larger size again this year for my Heart Breathings editorial calendar. So brand new. I had just placed the order for this like 2 days before the controversy struck, or the day before, I think. And I'm happy to have it. I don't know, like I said, if I'll continue to buy Erin Condren products next year, but that's a whole year from now. And I'm going to be using this because I already have it. And I hope that nobody here will be upset or offended by that. I just feel like this is just my choice to continue using what I already had. So this is the editorial calendar for Heart Breathings, and I love that new cover. I'm excited about it. Also, as just part of the affiliate and review, they had sent me a smaller version of the monthly planner, and I already had a monthly planner that I was using for my Sarra Cannon stuff, but I love the way the tab goes to the month, and it annoys me so much that the previous one, the tab goes to this little dashboard page. So I just decided to go ahead and move into this one for my Sarra Cannon career. That way, both of my editorial calendars will go from July to June. And I sort of Franken-planned this. So if you guys saw my video about Franken-planning my time tracking planner, I did a similar thing with this. So I took it apart. I took apart the coil. I did damage it just a tiny bit there and here with the little like teeth. But anyway, what I did was I added into the back, especially, a bunch of extra notes pages, things that I had already taken notes on in my previous planner, like my Fair Hope relaunch coming up and different ads. So I added basically an entire notes section from my previous monthly planner that has the asterisks on it. And then now the back is the notes pages that came with it. And then I also took some of the sticker sheets that I hadn't used and added those in the back too. So not a huge like Franken-plan thing, but I just added like 20 extra notes pages in this section here, and it still fits nicely on the coil. So that's a way that I was kind of repurposing and reusing the one that I only used for half a year. So these are some of my main notebooks. I track pretty much all of my videos and stuff like that in here. If you guys didn't see these awesome YouTube live stickers and some other more sticker releases in the Procrastiplanner shop that are HB90 related, as well as just some great functional stickers, I'm using the heck out of these. So anyway, those are my editorial calendars. Okay, so moving on, I have this super cute Hello Kitty notebook that a friend of mine got when she went to visit Korea, and I have not used it before, but we have been trying to sleep train Evie, and so we were trying this method called the Happy Sleeper, because she's almost 10 months old. She'll actually be 10 months old this week, and she just wasn't sleeping, and so I wasn't sleeping, and it was just getting to be too much. So we decided to try it, which it's not exactly a full cry it out method, again with a controversial topic, so we won't get into too much controversy here, but I started using this notebook to mark what our routine is, our nap time routine, and then we started on the 21st of June, and I was just tracking like how her naps went, what she was eating in a day, and I like the process of tracking this. So I'm going to continue throughout the month of July using this notebook to track her schedule and our daily schedule, so I can see any kinds of patterns that emerge, keeping track of whether her sleeping's getting better, how much food she's eating in a day as we move toward even more independent eating and more solids. So this will be kind of a cute little baby sleep and food journal, and I'm excited to use it because I think it's super cute and I've been wanting to use it since I got it. Part of my Q3 goals are to not only get ahead, but also sort of nurture myself and my own personal goals and my own energy. And a big part part of energy for me is tied to how I eat. I've talked about this before on this channel that I have polycystic ovarian syndrome. And so when I'm eating poorly, I suffer really badly from inflammation and other issues in my body and fatigue. So as we're working on EV's sleep schedule and getting me more sleep, I also decided, okay, enough is enough. I've got to go back to eating right so that I can feel better. So this is my health and wellness journal. Again, another Erin Condren product. These are ones that I had already been using in the past. You can see that I did start on these in May, and I was doing okay, kind of tracking my food. This is one of their like wellness log planners, and you can mark your exercise, your habits, so your water, your steps, and the hours that you slept, as well as what you ate throughout the day. I did it for like 1 week and then I fell off, and I want to get back to it, and I'm going to stick to it this time. So I'm hoping to restart in this one. Then I have a gratitude journal that I fill out at night, and I haven't been doing this. So what I'm going to do is, this is a habit tracker, and then this one at the end, you can see I already marked it with May because I thought I was going to be starting Brightline in May. So I'm probably going to pull that off and instead mark it with July. And this is going to be kind of a journal of how I feel and my meditation and stuff like that. So this entire like traveler's notebook of different notebooks is going to be my health and wellness plans. And I am going to leave this by my bedside, and it's going to become a permanent part of my nightly routine. So every night when I go to sleep, I'm going to mark down what I ate for the day. I can look on my app and see I have a Hydrate Spark water bottle that tracks how much water I've drank, how many steps. I have a step tracker that it's not charged right now, so I got to charge it up, that will track my steps and the hours I slept. So what I'll do is I will do my water, my steps, talk about my activity, and track my food, just write down what I ate for the day at the end of the night, along with my gratitude journal, and track my habits. Then in the morning when I get up, I will mark how many hours I slept. And that is going to be part of my nightly routine every single night. And I love it. Now I have to say, this pink one, as much as I loved this pink color, is not holding up really great in terms of looking like new. So I think I'm going to take maybe an alcohol swab and try to clean it up a little bit. But I think this color maybe is so light and I'm too rough on my notebooks. But anyway, this will go beside my bedside, and hopefully I'll start eating right and continuing to work on my energy. I also have part of that third goal for me for Q3, which I'll talk about in my Q3 update video, is that I want to work on my energy. And part of my energy is also tied to my emotional state in a big way. And so I want to get back to journaling on a regular basis. Now I have this notebook from last year. This is an Astrology editor's notebook. I talked about this last month, and I really, really want to get back into doing morning pages. And I have all these pages to do it. So I could probably finish this by the end of the year, I think, if I was doing it pretty steadily. So I've got this Kiki K notebook holder, and I've got the Astrology. I talked about it last month, but I only ended up writing in it for 2 days. So part of my morning routine now is going to be writing my steps in that one journal, and then getting a glass of water, hopefully a glass of water with lemon, which I know is a good way to get your digestion going in the morning, or some tea with lemon, and just setting a timer for 15 minutes and writing for 15 minutes. I've already cleared it with my husband that he's going to take the kids for those 15 minutes. And so I know I'm going to have that time carved out, and that's going to be part of my new morning routine. So I will be doing those morning pages in this notebook with a Kiki K matching pen. Briefly, I also want to talk about this. So I had shown you guys several times, like in my binders and stuff like this, that I really, really wanted to get this binder. And when I do a July setup, this is what I'm going to be using. I ended up finding this on eBay or buying it off of eBay, because when I mentioned that I was looking for it, about 150 people messaged me with a link to one on eBay, and I was able to negotiate a really good price for it, and I purchased it, and it got here a couple weeks ago. So I'm dying to set this up for my July planner. But another kind of important but also I don't know how to address this, is that in my mailbox, so I have a P.O. box, I received this notebook cover journal as a gift. And it seems to have come maybe from Australia or from overseas, but the person's name was marked out on the front of it. Was like the package was kind of torn, so I couldn't see who this was from. So if this came from you, please, please, please message me. But I think that maybe the person that sent it thought that they were buying the binder, because I actually already have one of the notebook covers. I bought the notebook cover or got it for Christmas a couple of years ago. So I already have this, but it just meant the world to me that someone actually found this and sent it to me. But I think they thought they were sending the binder. I'm not sure. And I can't even say thank you because the name wasn't on there. There was no card or anything inside. So if this came from you, please, please, please send me an email, sarah@heartbreathings.com. This really means so much to me. But I do already have one, so I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with this one, but I feel bad that somebody maybe spent a lot of money on it and sent it over to me. So I just want to be able to say thank you and maybe work something out to either get this back to you or to send you some money for it. I'm just not sure. But thank you so much for that. I'm excited to show you guys a July planner setup in that. But since I do have this one, I also have this cover, and I have one other cover for this type of notebook. I might be switching out. I just don't necessarily want to use this one because this one seemed to be brand new. So I'm going to be recording a few videos of update on my get ahead plan. If you saw my video on how I want to get ahead, you will know that I already started in this notebook. I have a checklist and everything about how I'm going to get ahead. I had hoped over the end of the quarter in Q2 that I would have a chance to fill this out more. I did get some of my social media stuff figured out. I also did fill out one about my time tracking. So how I want to track my time, how I wanted to Frankenplan and get the color code done and everything else. So I did get a few things done. So what I've done now is worked a lot of this get ahead project, including making the lists and everything else in this notebook, as part of my Q3 goals to get ahead and get more energy in my life. So this is my third goal, which will be in this kind of yellow color up on my board. So I'll talk about this more in a couple of videos coming up, but just to update you that this will be something I'm working heavily in. This is an Erin Condren just productivity notebook because it has like lines, and then it also has a checklist over here. So I thought this would be the perfect notebook for this type of project where I'm going to be making lots of checklists and to-do lists and things like that. So the work continues on. I didn't get as much filled out, but as soon as I get more ahead on this project and I've gotten a little bit more of it worked out, I'm going to film a few update videos specifically on this get ahead project because it's super important to me and it's a cornerstone of my Q3 goals. Okay, so I'm also going to just talk about these two Happy Planner Deluxe planners that I use as notebooks. So this one I used for a long time, the cover as my plotting notebook, but you can see it's like fake leather and it didn't hold up well when I was putting it in my bag over and over and over. So now this sits on my desk upstairs as my gaming notebook, and I do kind of want to decorate this front part a little bit more. But here's an example of how you can create your own cover. So I found this artwork on DeviantArt and just printed it out and used it here. I also have this EverQuest box set cover from when the game first came out because this is the game that I enjoy playing, and I've got a picture of one of my old characters. But this is basically my gaming notebook, and I have been not only playing EverQuest 2, which is kind of my favorite game. It's the game where I met my husband. It's not a game that many people play anymore, but I still love it. It's been around for like 15 years, and it used to be like a huge, huge part of my life. So I still play. I don't play as often as I want, but part of my get ahead project is going to be, and my energy project for goal 3 is going to be gaming more often. And it's, even if it's just things like sitting down, getting a single level, spending an hour harvesting. I think I just need that time away from social media, away from messaging people or helping people, away from my work and my writing, to just kind of let my mind have some fun and have a break. And I think I desperately need that for my mental health. So this notebook is going to be getting more attention because I really fell off of time to be gaming as much as I want to after I started going live on YouTube on my Sarra Cannon channel. Just I didn't have as much time because I was writing more and other things were happening. So I'm gonna get back into this. So I've got a ton of pages in here that aren't being used yet, and this is where I will track my quests and my characters. You can see that I do track like the levels of my characters. So when my jeweler, for example, she actually already is to 120. I already moved her up, so I just need to color those in. I just create these little boxes and mark my levels and that sort of thing. And so I just want to continue doing that and really spend some good time on it. So this is my gaming planner, and I will find this image and link it down below on DeviantArt if you're interested. If you know this character, comment or give me a thumbs up because she's one of my favorites. And finally, same type of cover, but this is my plotting planner. And like I said, I know that I cover planners as well as notebooks here because they kind of intersect for me. This is my own book cover, and then I have the book cover for the book I'm currently working on, which is called Fate's Surrender. And it was pretty easy to make these covers just with laminating sheets. So I have cardstock laminating sheets, and then that Staples Arc Punch, and then all you need are the discs, and you can create your own notebook out of whatever pages you want. So this notebook is really a plotting notebook. I haven't filled this out, but if you've been kind of following my stories and my video recently on how I'm doing Camp Nano, I've actually kind of recreated this plotting board on my wall in gigantic scale. So I'll be recording a video for you guys on that as well. But I have basically like all my notes. I did a reread and marked down everything that happened so that I can just kind of refresh my memory as I pull story threads through. Then I have like my writing plan and my Camp Nano like word count goals that I'm going to start filling out coming up on Wednesday. I have my like phases so I can track how long each phase is taking. And then I have brainstorms and secret things here for what's going on in the story. So then I also have my notes for Vengeful Darkness, which is not actually book 12, it's book 11 of my series. And so I've got notes and secret things in here that I'm working on. And then I also have notes for another book that I've got kind of in the works in the back of this. So this is something that I touch pretty much every day of my life. And it's just another example of how if you have a laminator or you buy any little covers for it, you can buy custom covers on Etsy too. You can create a notebook as long as you have the discs and the punch, or if you don't want to have the punch, you can just buy some of the pre-punched paper. Happy Planner has their own pre-punched paper, or ones like this are from Staples. So you can just buy pre-punched paper, and then you don't even need a hole punch to create your own notebook. And I think that's a pretty cool way to have a notebook that changes as you change. So those are the main notebooks that I'm using. I also, like I mentioned last month, have been doing more in my iPad. And so this is where I created my vision board. So I created the vision board in GoodNotes actually, which I don't think is probably the best app to use on an iPad, but hopefully that's showing up okay. But I created my vision board and then I printed it out and put it up on my wall, and I put it in my planner. So one of the cool things about making a digital vision board is that you can actually print it out several times if you want. And then I created a vision board that's just for the way that I want to feel on a daily basis. So it has things like my gaming, cozy nights of journaling, reading, tracking the moon, going out to the beach, which sadly we can't really do very often because it's getting to be summer and it's too crowded and we just aren't going to go there. But you can have all these different notebooks. And so I have been really enjoying this process of creating notebooks inside my GoodNotes app. So I love that you can bring in images, you can bring in digital planning elements, and it just makes it really fun. And I've been playing around with different formats like pros and cons and motivation for changing my body, eating right, and different things like that. Lots of journaling that I can do. And I also bought quite a few things. Fiona Jardine has an Etsy shop, Fiona Jardine Designs, where she has some really cute things. So you just have to like copy and paste it, and then you can use it inside your notebook. Then I have a cover or a screen protector here that writes kind of like you're writing on paper. So you can see here I have a mix of my own handwriting with little images, and then I also have things like this that are just fonts that I was able to download. So if you guys want to see a video on how to use, like how I'm using GoodNotes and a combination of some digital elements to create a cool notebook inside my iPad, let me know if you'd be interested in that. So that's another thing that I'm using, and I only am kind of playing around with it maybe for like 10 or 15 minutes at night as part of my wind down for the evening, but it's been really fun and I'm definitely enjoying it. Okay, so that's all the notebooks. Let's talk about the notebook that I'm giving away and the pens that I'm giving away. So Sharpie has come out with these new gel pens, and they write really nice dark black, which I really like that in a pen. When I found them at Target, all they had was the 0.7, and that is a little bit bigger than I typically like to write with. I prefer almost always a 0.3 or a 0.5. So, of course, as always, the same way with the Papermate gel pens, nobody carries the 0.5s in store, and that's so disappointing. But it is what it is. So I had to order them from Amazon. And when I ordered it, I ended up getting a really big box of it. So I thought, well, I'm going to start using them, but I'm also going to give a couple away. So today's notebook challenge is going to be, the giveaway is going to be this Bandeau notebook, the one that's still in the cover here, and 2 of the Sharpie 0.5 S gel pens. When I first got them, it was skipping too much on the type of paper that I was using, because I was using like a really smooth paper. But when I started using them on like the Stalogy paper or the Hobonichi paper, I really, really liked it. So the more I use it, the less it skips. So if you get some of these pens, you might find that the first like day or so that you're using them, the ink skips a little bit, but then it starts to really flow, and it's a really nice fully black pen that's nice to write with. So that'll be the giveaway. I've been using these pens quite a bit. I actually have 2 of these Bandeau rough draft notebooks. These have the kind of O-ring coil to them, and I have one that's opened but not used, and then I have this one that I'll be giving away that's never even been opened. So this will be the giveaway. It's open internationally, so all you have to do is comment down below, make sure that you're subscribed and that you like the video, and I will choose a winner on this upcoming Friday, and the details will be in the description box below. So at the beginning of the notebook, it just has this really cool light purple pocket that you could put stickers or anything in. And then the pages themselves are just 8.5 by 11. They may even be just a slightly bigger than that. They're all perforated on the side, and it's just lines with a little heart that says Bandeau down at the bottom and a section to put the date. So these are really great for any kind of journaling or project management, or pretty much anything you want to do with a notebook, you can do with these. I love them. Then in the middle of the notebook, almost all the Bandeau notebooks have this page that's just like a colorful page that has a quote on it. So this one says, "You're straight up magic." Prize halfway through, and then at the back of the notebook it is just this same purple pretty color here, and that is it. So I love these really hard cover cardboard covers to them, and I just like the way this paper writes. I don't think this paper is going to be like super great for, maybe it works fine with fountain pen ink, but like markers might bleed through. But overall, I think this is a really good quality paper, and I really like the notebooks. Plus, when you're journaling, I think it's nice to have a hard cover so that you can really bear down, even if you're like sitting on a couch or something. So these are great notebooks, and they're nice and big, and of course, because they're on a coil, they lay flat and you can pull them over around each other. So that's this month's giveaway. I hope that you guys will love that one. And then finally, we are going to just briefly talk about a new addition to the Notebook Challenge, which is a challenge to read books by authors that you might not have heard of before. So what I'm going to feature today and what I'm going to read in the month of July is Song of Blood and Stone by Elle Penelope. And I just happened to follow her on Twitter anyway, and saw that she's coming out, I believe, with the 3rd book in this series. This is from St. Martin's Press, and the covers are just so beautiful, and I love fantasy. So I'm like, okay, we're going to check this out. Let's see how it is. So here is the description for El Penelope's Song of Blood and Stone. Is a treacherous, thrilling, epic fantasy about an outcast drawn into war between two powerful rulers. And I don't know for sure that I'm going to say all this correctly, but I'm going to read it for you. The kingdoms of Elsira and Lagrimar have been separated for centuries by the Mantle, a magical veil that has enforced a tremulous peace between the two lands. But now the Mantle is cracking, and the true father, ruler of Lagrimar and the most powerful earth singer in the world, finally sees a way into Elsira to seize power. All Jasminda ever wanted was to live quietly on her farm, away from the prying eyes of those in the nearby town. Branded an outcast by the color of her skin and her gift of earth song, she's been shunned all her life and has learned to steer clear of the townsfolk, until a group of Lagrimari soldiers wander into her valley with an Elsirian spy, believing they are still in Lagrimar. Through Jack, the spy, Jasminda learns that the Mantle is weakening, allowing people to slip through without notice. And even more troubling, Lagrimar is mobilizing. And if no one finds a way to restore the Mantle, it might be too late for Elsira. Their only hope lies in uncovering the secrets of the Queen who sleeps, and Jasminda's Earth Song is the key to unravel them. Thrust into a hostile society and a world she doesn't know, Jasminda and Jack race to unveil an ancient mystery that might offer salvation. So I think this sounds amazing. I super love fantasy, and I love the world building just in the back cover copy. And this is a nice book, like beefy book. It's like 500 and something pages long, and I'm super excited to dive into this. I don't have a ton of extra reading time, so it might take me all month to get through the book, unless it's just like, maybe I'll finish it in a couple of weeks because it's just so amazing. But I love the illustrations in this book. I think every chapter has something here, and I just think it's really cool. So, I'm excited to read this. This is by El Penelope. I will link to it down below for you to check it out. And this book came out in 2018, and there is a follow-up book, and I believe the third book is coming out soon. So I will link to her website where you can find all the links to buy it down there. This, of course, is a trad pub book, and I also wanted to feature an indie book as well. The indie book that I am going to be reading this month is Bright by Ines Johnson. So Ines is a friend of mine. We actually met years ago and then kind of reconnected through this channel, through Heart Breathing. She's amazing. She has a lot of books out, and she writes a lot of romance, but this is a new adult, like paranormal fantasy, and I'm so excited to read it. So let me tell you a little bit about this book. He was fated to fall. Since birth, Rogan's been tasked with a cruel fate: guard the girl who'll steal his heart and then end his life. For 18 years, he's done his duty while keeping her in the dark, but time's up and he can no longer keep the light of truth from Ellie. She was destined to rise. Ellie's used to being invisible and overlooked by everyone in her small town. On her 18th birthday, she's sure her life is about to change. What she doesn't expect are the visions of things she knows can't be true, like the memories of kissing the town bad boy. She knows that Rogan's hiding secrets about a past she can't remember, but why is he frightened about a future together? Together, they'll burn bright. When Ellie learns what she is and what she must do, will she and Rogan be able to break free of fate and choose their own path? And if that path leads to love, can Rogan escape a dark destiny? If you've ever wished upon a star, if you've felt the glow of finding where you belong, if you know the brilliance of first love, then you'll fall for Bright. Buy this new adult romance touched by fantasy, mixed with science fiction and a dash of the paranormal today. This is a book by Ines Johnson, like I said, and I'm excited to read this. I love that tagline, "She was destined to rise." So here are just a couple of books by Black authors in our own community, and just books that look amazing. If you're interested in checking those out, I will have those linked for you down below. Okay guys, that's it for the July Notebook Challenge. I am also excited to show you guys a mid-year planner lineup to talk about what I'm still using from the beginning of the year, what's really working out for me, and how I'm using my different planners. Make sure that you comment down below to enter to win the Bando notebook and the Sharpie gel pens, and make sure that you also check out down below to find out more about how you can purchase the books that I'll be reading this month as well. So find me over on Instagram at at Heart Breathing's blog. Tag me and use the hashtag HB Notebook Challenge to show me which notebooks you're using if you're participating. I absolutely love to see pictures of all your amazing notebooks and what you've gotten through so far over the year. I know sometimes it takes months to get through your notebooks, but that's great. Let me see those notebooks, and anytime you buy new ones so I can live vicariously through you. Also, if you have decided to read along with me on any of the books that I'm reading, or if you are going to participate in the HB Diverse Reading Challenge, then you can use that hashtag as well, HB Diverse Reading Challenge, where you can challenge yourself to read more diverse books, and hopefully we'll keep that going throughout the year. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. I hope you have an amazing July and a fresh start to the second half of the year, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.